Dan McLaughlin for I Promise. I got to tell you, it's crazy to think that we are ready for the kids to go back to school. And one thing that's missing on many back-to-school shopping lists is I Promise Screen Shield. Whether it's virtual or in-person schooling, students spend a ton of time at screens. And all of that screen time can do serious damage. The I Promise Screen Shield line can help build our eyes' natural internal protection against blue light, ward off symptoms like strained, tired eyes. When it comes to back-to-school preparation, our eyes are often overlooked. So give your eyes and your kids' eyes the attention they deserve with I Promise Screen Shield eye vitamins. Developed by eye doctors, these daily vitamins give your eyes the nutrients that they're missing from your diet and offer internal protection against harmful effects of screen time. Use the promo code MAC, as in Danny Mac, for 50% off your order. Order online. I Promise. EYE promise.com today.
This is the Fast Lane Podcast, powered by I Promise. Now, here's the Fast Lane.
Let's get nasty on a Tuesday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Brad Thompson. I'm Anthony Stalter. Meets here, spinning the dials, doing his thing. He had ice cream before the show, so he is off the charts today. He's going to have a great show.
The ice cream was more of a trap, wasn't it, Jamie?
You got me.
Yeah, the sales staff was very generous today. For those who don't know, it's my birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
You know the rest.
Yeah, thank you very much. And so they brought in a couple of little gifts for the birthday, and one of them was ice cream. You guys know I don't eat ice cream because the teeth are all cracked and it hurts. And so BT and I were sitting there, and I go, watch this.
Poor baby.
So I said, watch this. We're going to set the trap. Took the nice little ice cream, put the spoon on it, perfect, put it over Meat's desk. And he was like, trap has been set. Meat walks in, ice cream.
Ice cream.
Nailed it. I love it.
It's the same guy, too. When I'm ordering lunch, and I go, hey, dude, you want a pizza? And he's like, nah, I had lunch today. I had a salad. I'm like, oh, good for you.
Doing good. He didn't say that.
You
He was
did
like,
well then.
I had a salad.
Yeah, like feeling it. And then the ice cream, like, pow.
Are you guys more likely to eat the ice cream, or in your case, Jamie, a treat after a healthy meal or after like a horrible meal? We're like, well, screw it. The damage has been done.
Horrible, yeah.
I don't discriminate.
You just eat it.
Either or.
See, I'm like that too.
Yeah,
Right
I mean,
on.
if it's one that I'm not a big dessert guy, but if it's the right dessert at the right time,
Yeah.
I don't care what I ate, how good it was, how much I ate, I'm taking that dessert down.
I can justify it either way. If I eat healthy, I'm like, well, I did pretty well. I'm not full. I feel good. That brownie looks fantastic.
I deserve that.
I deserve it. If I eat like crap, I'm like, well, hell, I'm already down Craps Creek here. Might as well just go ahead and pile some more crap in my stomach.
This thought process is probably why none of us are shredded. Like, this is probably the issue.
What do you mean? Do you think this is it?
We're on radio.
I thought
We can fake it.
No, I get it, but it's
not
like
TV.
one of the issues.
It's not TV.
I know.
So you can be like, hey, we're all shredded.
Well, I was like, we're all in decent shape, but
Shape.
we all have shapes,
Yeah.
and but the whole willpower thing that ends up being a little bit.
It's
of
a
an issue.
bit of a problem, sure.
We're working on
All
it.
right, Jamie, so happy birthday.
Thank you.
A crisp 35 years of age for Jamie Rivers, right?
I
or is it
wish.
36?
Again,
53.
again.
No, it's not 53.
I look good, though, don't I?
What are you, 46 now?
Yeah, 46.
46. So before we get started here, just go ahead and tell us what your favorite birthday was of all time.
Today, guys, because I get to spend it with you guys.
It was a
I have-
test.
Yeah.
And you passed.
Not
Congratulations.
for his family, he didn't.
No,
Well, yeah, because
no, you're in
tonight when
trouble.
I leave here, going home, we're going to have a nice family dinner. My daughter, who's supposed to go back to Mizzou, decided she was going to stay and spend the night because she wanted to have Dad's birthday at home. So
That's really
this is the best day ever.
Good.
And I'm going to drink.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay, I was
it
waiting.
is
I was
Tuesday.
waiting for the hook. I was waiting for the hook there. Craig Berube going to join us at 2:15. We've, of course, got the Gauntlet. We'll need a new contestant for the Gauntlet. 65780 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Maybe you want to challenge the birthday boy today.
Oh, baby.
You won't. Jamie Rivers 8-1 in the Gauntlet, by the
Bring
way.
it on, baby.
Bet the board. Another successful bet the board last night for you guys.
Wow. I was wondering-
3-1.
What did you bet?
I had the Grizzlies.
Oh, you bet basketball?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
How did the Grizzlies do?
I think they lost by 40.
So they
But
didn't
you
cover?
know what?
You didn't sweat it out, though. Those are the worst ones when you lose at the end. The
I think
heartbreakers.
Neither did you.
Yeah.
Capitals, 6 Cobb.
6-0 for BT. Jamie cashes again with the Penguins. Same matchup tonight. I wonder if Jamie's going to go back to the well.
I don't think I'm going to touch that game tonight.
Really?
Yeah, I got another one.
Meat also hit.
That's right.
He's inching towards respectability at
wow.
at 500. No.
Really?
Listen, I'm going the other
Put it
way.
like that.
I'm going the other way. Yeah, the Grizzlies were up by a point after the quarter, so that
The
counts,
Grizzlies
right?
still have a team?
Yes, they do. They're
Yeah,
located
Rudy
in
Gay's
Memphis.
on that
Vancouver,
team.
right?
Yep. They lost by 23, so it wasn't quite 40. It was only 23, guys. Things got away in the third quarter there. The 36-25 third quarter really hurt the Grizzlies last night. Either way, 3-1. We are a team. 3-1 and bet the board, so we'll have that again for you at the end of the show. We start off. Go ahead.
Rudy
We
Gay
start
was,
off with a text.
Rudy Gay was last in Memphis in 2012.
It's been a while.
It's been a minute. Been a minute.
Been a minute. No
Anyways.
problem. One player that is struggling in spring training. No, it's
Hold
not Mac.
on.
What?
What?
Why can't we start the day with something fun? We're going struggling?
Well,
That's what we're
other
doing?
guys aren't.
You don't want to talk about Matt Carpenter's ex-FIP?
Not really.
You know how many hard-hit balls he had yesterday?
2?
At least,
many
if
in
we're
play?
not counting the foul balls.
1?
2 in play.
1 in play.
Wonder, right? One, you know what? Mr. Negativity,
You
what do you
said
want to
the
talk
wind
about?
carries it, though, in that part.
No, I said there are days when the wind carries
I heard it was really windy yesterday.
It wasn't. Maybe the other way. It was like a crosswind and
tornado.
knocked it down. That thing should have been
It's a
across
hurricane
the street.
coming from home plate.
Who's struggling, Anthony? Pray tell.
Well, Matt Carpenter.
No, the ex-FIP. We talked
And
about
also
this.
Paul
Baseball
DeYoung.
Savant. Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah, Paul DeYoung is scuffling right now. I'm not concerned. Right? It's only spring training. No big deal. What if he struggles in the regular season, though? This is supposed to be one of your guys that benefits from the Nolan Arenado trade. You've got Paul Goldschmidt. You've got Nolan Arenado. Dylan Carlson's a stud. And, of course, you got Paul DeYoung. He's going to do his thing. What if he struggles? And not just for a half of the season, BT, but the whole damn thing.
Well, therein lies a little bit of a problem, I guess, when you look at it. And I do believe that this is a year where Paul DeYoung has an opportunity to take that big step forward. All the things that you mentioned about adding the piece for Nolan Arenado, that should benefit him, that should help him out. But so far this spring, he hasn't looked good at all. He's only got 2 hits. He's hitting 087. He's been late on a lot of fastballs. Looks like he's in heavy pull mode and just not covering stuff away at this point. So your last question is the one that's the most interesting, because you've got Paul DeYoung under contract, not for this year, but then the next 2 years through 2023, he's under contract. So you don't need him to be what Arenado has been. You don't need him to be Goldie. You just need him to be consistent throughout the year. And if he's not, there's not an option knocking on the door, okay? There's not somebody sitting there at AAA that says, oh, wait till he slips a little bit. Delvin Perez, he's still a couple of years away. He looks the part this year. He looks better. Mason Wynn, still a couple of years away. Just got drafted out of high school. So, these guys are not right there for him. Honestly, if there were struggles for a longer time, or let's play a different game, okay? If Paul DeYoung was just not available because he tweaked something, he ended up having a hammy, or he had some sort of an issue that took him out of the lineup for a little bit of time, the guy that would most likely fill in there and be the shortstop is Tommy Edman. Tommy Edman would be the guy. Probably not Edmundo Sosa, because Tommy Edman, we know what he can do with the bat, and I think he'd be solid there over at shortstop. Maybe that would open up some at-bats for the ex-FIP King, Matt Carpenter, over at second base. Or maybe later in the season, kid gets some reps, Nolan Gorman, right? Maybe it ends up opening some ABs there. But to the bigger point of, okay, a full year of struggles, what do? We know we're embarking on one of the largest classes of free agent shortstop ever, right? Correa, Seager, Baez, Story. I mean, there are some monsters. Lindor hasn't signed his extension yet. So the question there is, hey, do the Cardinals look at this market? The answer is no.
What?
No. They have
Wait, what?
they have spent their money on the left side of the infield.
What do you mean they've spent? The
Spend more
Rockies are
money on the
spending
left
the
side.
money.
Yeah,
No, while
Last time I checked, the Rockies are picking up the tab.
for a year.
Well, that's not the
Right.
full tab is the problem. They sprinkled some tip on it, but the Cardinals are still Yeah, I said it.
That's what she said.
No, she didn't.
gracious.
The Cardinals are still on the hook for the bulk of that contract. Signing another one of those guys would put them way past their comfort zone. And then you got to remember, too, you've got your arbitration-eligible players that are going to be getting raises. So I don't see that being in the cards. Like, I don't see them in the market for any of these big guys.
I think they should become comfortable with being uncomfortable and acquire Trevor Story from the Rockies if things go sideways with Paul DeJong. That's what I think they should do. Any objections? I didn't think so.
I have no objections.
Thank you.
That's great and all.
Do you want to win?
Of course.
Do you want to be one of those great teams? Do you want to be elite?
Look, I want to have a
Brad, the money
mansion.
doesn't come
I
out of
want to
your
drive
pocket.
a bunch of really nice vehicles. Like, there are a lot of things in my life that I want, but I realize,
Then go get it.
okay,
Just
Anthony,
go.
which sounds good, okay? Like, we've had this conversation before. My kids, right? My
take
kids
out
will drive
another
by
loan. It's
drive by a
fine.
car
It's
on the
American
road.
dream.
You'll be
It'll
fine.
be flying, right? Brand new, like Corvette or something. Looks sweet, just fast. My son's like, oh, Dad, we should get one of those. And I look at it and like, that's cool, son. Could I afford one of those? If we squint really hard, like if we really look at things, we cut back in some other areas, maybe I could drive that car. Would that be a sound investment? No, I mean, not for the long term. We might be living in that two-seater at some point down the road.
You look good, though.
You look good. I think the easier thing to
fast.
do. Here's the thing to remember too about Paul DeJong and his contract. He signed a 6-year deal, but it was only $26 million. Now, the money of it is backloaded. So you're going to be paying more the next couple of years than you would have. Like, this is the first year he really starts making some cash on that deal. But you still have a guy that has upside. He is maybe just under an elite defender at shortstop. You look at all the metrics, he is there. You look at WAR defensively in 2019, he had the highest defensive WAR in baseball. So at a premium position, he's playing premium defense. He does need to be more steady with the bat. I mean, there's no way around that part of it. But you like the toolbox that he has. Now let's see what he can build. I mean, especially with more around him in the lineup.
BT, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, 212. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. We're going to talk to the Chief next. Craig Berube, our weekly chat with the Blues head coach. We'll talk to him about some of his injured players maybe coming back.
I think he might be in a good mood.
I hope so. We'll put him in a good mood. Craig Berube next on 101 ESPN. Well, the Chief said, you know what? It's Jamie Rivers' birthday, so I'm not going to pick up my phone. I don't like that guy anyways. That's what he said.
I think he literally said, screw you, Jamie. I think that was we call it his voicemail. It wasn't even like, hey, you've reached so-and-so. It was like, screw you, Jamie. Click.
Well, I don't think that's very nice, and I'm going to drink to your birthday. Jamie.
Gosh. Anheuser-Busch, just great.
I think our bosses are in there, too. So that probably worked out well. Hey, the Blues are getting healthy-ish. You got Tyler Bozak expected to come back tomorrow night. You've got Jaden Schwartz practicing yesterday. That's
Schwartz.
good. Colton Parayko, not so much. He didn't practice, but okay. We'll take whoever, is ready to come back at this point. But Bozak's going to be ready. And if the Schwartz is going to be ready pretty soon, Jacob De La Rose, okay. It's depth. It's
Anthony,
good.
there's a lot of positives right now, okay? And when I say positives, I mean good things happening because you have to be very careful these days when you use that word positive. It's
true.
So right now, positive things happening for the Blues. Tyler Bozak will be in the lineup tomorrow night.
COVID joke, Jamie?
It's not a joke.
Okay.
It's not a joke. It's a fact, Anthony, and you have to be very clear. Because the other day, when they said the game postponed in L.A., what did you automatically think? COVID. You said it on the air.
I said I was glad it wasn't COVID.
But you thought it was COVID.
That was the first thing I thought.
Well, of course I thought it was COVID.
I didn't care to look at the weather patterns.
It's been a year, man.
So that's why I made sure to say when you said a lot of positives, no, a lot of positive things happening. So Tyler Bozak will come back tomorrow night, jump in the lineup. It's a big addition for the Blues because he fits the mold of so many different positions. He can play on the power play, penalty kill, big face-offs. He can play in a checking role. Now, he's not going to do all that in his first game back. He's probably going to dip the toes into the water a little bit, see how he feels. And I'm sure Craig Berube is going to do the same and just make sure that one of his top guys is going to be okay. The even better news, to your point, Jaden Schwartz looks like he could be back the following game. I'm not saying it's for sure, but he's skating on a line. He's in practice. He's involved. That's usually signs that a player's ready to make their return to the lineup. Robert Thomas is on the ice now skating again. Another sign of good things to come. And Jacob De La Rose, as much as we viewed him as an accessory, a side piece, whatever you want to do at the start of the season, that was on purpose, Brad. And now he's a guy that played very, very well up until he was injured. He became a pivotal part of that fourth line, was a great centerman, killed some penalties, played physical, did everything the Blues wanted him to do. So if you get those guys back, things change dramatically for your club. The only downside is that Colton Parayko's still not skating, but they are talking about how he's making progress in a good way.
Got that
that's
going
good.
for him.
Yeah.
Which is nice. So when you look at this team offensively, Jamie, and the possible return, and I wrote it down here. It was at 2:20 that he'll be back. Jaden Schwartz will be back in 2 games, and Jamie Rivers said that.
Go ahead. Put it on the board.
It's on the board.
Pretty confident.
How much does your offense change? Like what does Jaden Schwartz back in the mix allow you to do offensively? What has been missing with him out?
Well, he's tenacious out there. He's not a big guy. We know that. Anybody who's watched him play, he doesn't play a real physical brand of hockey, but he's buzzing. He's like that water bug you just can't shake. And he's such a good skater that even the bigger guys can't really get away from him because he is so good with his edge work. He stays on the puck and he's able to hunt down guys on the forecheck. He does a great job. Never stops buzzing. That's the one thing about Jaden Schwartz, that even when he's not scoring, he's fun to watch and he's productive because you're like, man, you know what? He's always buzzing. He's always going. He's creating something. And so the biggest thing I get out of it, if you look at your 2 top lines right now and you're like, okay, I like it. Right now we've got Kyrou, Tarasenko, and O'Reilly. You've got Shen, Hoffman, Perron. So do the trickle down now. You add Bozak. He's probably going to go in at third line center. You add Jaden Schwartz. He's going in on the left wing somewhere, which means one of 2 players, either Hoffman or Tarasenko, which won't be Tarasenko. So Hoffman gets bumped down to the third line. Now you have Bozak playing with Hoffman. Add De La Rose. He comes in on the fourth line. Now your fourth line has an identity again. As you get guys back, you're starting to see that you will create more offense and that at the same time, your depth will be better so that when you get into these tough games where maybe games are slipping away towards the end of the game. Well, that's because Ryan O'Reilly, we talked to JR yesterday, he's playing over 1.5 minutes more per game. Doesn't sound like a lot. Trust me, it is. And he plays hard minutes. Braden Shen, same thing. All these guys are being asked to do a little bit more, which is great. They've done their best. But now when you get guys back who can eat up those minutes and that can contribute offensively, Bozak and Schwartz are both part of the power play when they're here. So that automatically should help your power play, although the power play's been clicking pretty good. However, it's not going to hurt your team. So I'm looking forward to those guys coming back. I think the depth is going to be huge, specifically on this road trip, because it's going to be a grind. Right now, there'll be 5 games left on a 6-game road trip. I don't know where they're going to try and drop that LA game back in here somewhere in the future. But nonetheless, getting guys back is always good.
Craig Berube scheduled to join us today. He was scheduled to join us in this segment block, but we'll try to get a hold of the
Chief. By the pool.
Who knows?
Shanner.
Who knows?
Put
Maybe he's
sunscreen
standing
on.
us up.
Although he gets pretty good tan.
Maybe you heard all the things you were saying about him, Brad.
The text line said he was hanging out with Travis Ford.
Did see that. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, Travis Ford just flat
He was still
out
practicing
ditched us.
with the guys yesterday, though. I mean, you got to respect that. Not going to get off the court when you are a team that could potentially be in the tourney, and if not, you're going to go give the NIT some hell.
Bang! He got it.
So
That was pretty good, Brad.
Yeah.
I feel better about the situation now.
Spin he didn't want to be with us.
I think we moved the time around on the Chief, and I think that on the other end, someone forgot to tell him.
Well,
Say you.
that's fine.
No, I had my guy.
Oh, okay.
I had my guy.
Speaking of Craig Berube, he addressed the media yesterday, and I want to ask Jamie what Craig Berube meant by this.
Well, it doesn't matter who it is. It's just we don't have enough guys that are pulling on the same rope here, and we need that. We need that, especially with the injuries we have. We need everybody, in the lineup to do the right things and pull on the same rope, and right now we don't.
So he mentioned it not once but twice. Guys not pulling the rope in the same direction.
Yeah.
What does he mean by that?
Well, basically, like he says in the comments, He doesn't care who you are right now. You're playing a big role for this hockey team. So if you were a taxi squad guy, an American Hockey League guy, a third or fourth liner, right now everybody's in this together. And if you're in it, you got to be pulling on the rope in the right direction. And so to his point, if you've got some guys that are just happy to be in the lineup, or they're bumped up in the lineup and they're pretty happy with themselves. Maybe I got an assist tonight. No, I got a goal. I'm just gonna 80% instead of 100%. It's not gonna cut it. And to his point, it's 100% right. Can you imagine being down so many guys and you got guys that are taking shifts off? Can't happen. It can't happen. And quite honestly, in this kind of a situation, your team should respond in a way to where they work even harder. Couple reasons why. One, your guys are in the lineup. They realize that they've got to probably give a little bit more because there's some big names that are missing. And the guys are getting opportunity. If they don't realize that this is their opportunity to get a bigger role on the team, well, then they're not very smart. You don't go in there as a taxi squad, American League, fourth liner, whatever, and play for Craig Berube and not be pulling on the rope. You want Chief to leave there going, man, I know he can't be in our lineup, but I really like that guy. He helps us, and there's somewhere for him in this organization later on. Rather than circle that guy, as soon as everybody's healthy, he's done. I'd much rather be the guy that coach is talking about saying, I want that guy.
Jamie, for some of those guys that you're talking about that maybe aren't taking advantage of the situation, like what is it that Craig Berube would be asking for that maybe they haven't had to give before?
Number one thing Chief likes, compete. Compete every time you're on the ice.
That should be at every level, right?
Should be, you think. But you know yourself, BT, that some guys that get out there, for whatever reason, it's not that they...
You're out there beaver tailing.
Oh, the old beaver tail.
Well,
I'm open.
No, well, what happens is you got
I'm
guys...
open.
Jeez, things are flying everywhere in here.
puck.
But you got guys who take a shift off, right? And all of a sudden they take a penalty for hooking or holding because they don't want to move their feet, or they don't get in the shot lane to get in the way. They don't get a stick in the right position. All of a sudden, those opportunities turn into goals or turn into bigger things for the opposition. That's what it is right there. So, you've got to be very aware of what you're doing. And for Chief, the biggest thing is compete every shift. Even if you're out of it, out of the play, whatever, the game is tight, it's not tight, you've got to compete every single shift. And at that point, Chief can deal with some of the mistakes, but he's got to have the effort.
That's Jamie Rivers, Brad Thompson, Anthony Stalter. And since it's Jamie's birthday today, he's going to love the Cardinal that we picked out for our three big questions. That's next on 101 ESPN. Time for our three big questions on a certain Cardinal. And as I tease, with it being Jamie Rivers' birthday, the only person that we could have done today for our Cardinals' three big questions is...
The 2-2. He got him. Strikeout number 10 for Carlos Martinez.
That's right. Carlos Martinez is our guy. Happy birthday, big cat.
We get a text along these lines from the 314, our good friend Sharon in Glencoe. Happy birthday, Rivs. Hopefully Stoltz will give you a break today. I won't mention Carlos and make you throw up in your mouth. Enjoy. That's from Sharon.
I'm working on this. I told you guys I've hired a hypnotist, and it's right now.
It was hit or miss.
It's hit or miss the other day. Yeah. So I'm hoping that today. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of a birthday lunch, and I don't really feel like seeing that again. So if we could just use Carlos or Martinez, would be much better.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, Carlos Martinez is going to be our big three of the day.
Damn it, BT.
That's right. So, BT,
Yeah.
tell us a little something about Carlos Martinez.
Do you want to start with... It's your birthday. I'm not going to use his full name anymore. Do you want to know something like you don't know first, or you want to go over some of the things that we kind of know but need a refresher?
You know what? Maybe this is a moment for
Okay.
me. Why don't you tell me about Carlos, things I don't know, and maybe,
Okay.
Anthony, maybe this will help.
I think I got the perfect thing for you, okay? When it comes to Carlos Martinez and dang it, I'm sorry.
I don't think so.
That wasn't intentional.
I haven't found out anything yet. That's
When
why.
it comes to Carlos and like kind of who he is a little bit more, we'll get into some stats, we'll get into some baseball stuff. But here's one: Carlos Martinez, before he had aspirations, dreams of being a Major League Baseball player, there was another job that he wanted to do. Do you guys have any guesses off the top of your head? Carlos Martinez, like you see him, you think that you know him. Carlos, just Carlos, Mr. Martinez.
Seems like he might be into, I don't know, making movies.
Okay, like a producer or something like
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Like
Bicycle
home
gang.
movies.
A bike gang.
Yeah.
Is that because he was on a motorcycle with the music video?
That's correct.
and stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe he wanted to be a musician.
Okay, musician is good too. Those are all noble choices.
It seemed like they fit his personality.
Yeah, well, maybe this one might. Maybe this one fits his personality too, and we just don't dig hard enough on certain players. No, Carlos Martinez originally had plans of becoming a priest.
Was that true?
That is true. Yeah, Carlos, that was in his heart, man. He wanted to
can't punk
become
somebody
a
on their
priest.
birthday.
So I'm telling
Right,
you,
Mo?
he changed his mind soon after starting to catch the attention of Major League Scouts, but that's something that he wanted to do. He talked about a purpose that he had growing up. He said his purpose was found in the Catholic Church. He'd always been invited to church-sponsored retreats, help out with local children, decide whether the path to priesthood was the one that he wanted to walk. Well, and he was also particularly struck by the opportunity to do good. And by the way, good is something that Carlos has done some of as well. Not only doing community outreach stuff, delivering bags of rice, clothes, other food to those in need in his native Dominican Republic, he also in 2015 started the Tsunami Waves Foundation.
There we go.
Carlos Martinez.
Yeah. The goal, by the way, of the Tsunami Waves Foundation is helping children in need. So, Jamie, a little bit something that maybe you didn't know about Carlos Martinez is that he almost picked the path to priesthood.
Yeah. So the reaction, I'll tell you right now, the reaction's a little less.
Yeah.
I didn't feel as much of a convulsion.
Good.
So maybe it'll work. Only
Here's
he
a-
could pitch.
Well, no, he
No,
can
he can
pitch.
pitch.
He's
No,
been an
but-
all-star 2 times.
Just don't know if he's going to be available.
He's
Well, he can
gonna
pitch.
be available.
He has a hard time getting out of the first inning, which is kind of
Been a problem.
It's tough when you're a starter.
And if the first inning hasn't been an issue, the second inning certainly has.
Second inning, yeah.
Did we mention that he's been throwing the ball a little bit better? Last couple of outings have looked
Caribbean
good.
League.
Well,
Hey,
we've-
here's the thing.
we've heard that
Like
before.
it or not, throw up or not, vomit in your mouth and swallow it or not, you need him. You're going to need Carlos
know.
Martinez
This is why I wanna
year.
get through this,
All right, well,
Brad.
here's another little thing, all right? A little nugget that you may not have known about Carlos Martinez. This one doesn't refer to the priesthood, but maybe it's more of how he found his love for baseball. Carlos was always a really good athlete, played shortstop, but it wasn't baseball initially that he played. It was kind of an offshoot of baseball. He was found playing Vitilla a lot. Vitilla is a modified game of baseball. They use bottle caps and broomsticks in his
It's like
Dominican neighborhood.
stickball, but with bottle caps,
You know how
right?
hard that must be?
They fling them and
Yeah,
they like
and
moves around.
you gotta hit
Yeah.
those things with a broomstick.
I've seen it. I've never
That'll
played
get you
it,
some.
obviously.
That'll get you some keen eye going on. So Carlos Martinez did a little bit of that. He also has a tendency to dye his hair here and there, which he enjoys. But here's the nuts and bolts of it, boys. He's coming off of a season where he had COVID. He ended up leaving the season, had an IL stint, left oblique strain. He had came in. They said, hey, he's going to have to earn a spot. That's why he went out and played winter ball, threw well in the Caribbean or Caribbean Series, whichever one you like better. And he was set to earn a spot. Now, an injury happened, and he was set to have a spot. Now, we're going to find out exactly what Carlos Martinez does have this year.
See? I didn't do it that time.
That was good, right? Was it because of the priesthood thing?
I'm just trying to take, it's more the foundation and trying to help the kids.
And another thing that you know, obviously already, but just a reminder, right? Back to the heart of the human. He was number 44, and then obviously changed to number 18 after the tragic passing of Oscar Taveras. Always honors his friend out there. Always draws, the initials when he goes out there and pitch. So a love for his friend.
I don't like this, Brad.
Yeah, it's trending in a good direction for you, Carlos Martinez.
You're starting to make me kind of like him.
See that?
Number 1.
So is he going to be in the rotation the whole year?
I
That was good, man.
I didn't do that. I didn't. Yes. Yeah. Here's the thing. I believe that he will, and I believe whether you think that Carlos Martinez is as locked in. God dang it!
As soon as you started talking about pitching again.
Wasn't that bad, though.
Think
It's
about
okay.
the priesthood. All right, think about that. Hey, another thing I was going to get into later. It's about Twitter, but that's a separate event.
He certainly knows what the like button is.
Okay, and favorites. Here's the other thing. Carlos Martinez, whether you think that he is flighty at times or he doesn't get the most out of his ability or he's just not all in all the time, just remember this. Carlos is playing for money this year. He is playing for every team in Major League Baseball. The Cardinals hold a $17 million option on him next year, which I would not hold my breath on them picking up. And he's going to be a free agent, chances are. And even if they do pick up the option, that's a ton of money. Like, he is very motivated this year. So I expect Carlos Martinez to stay in the rotation for the long haul. I noticed the no puke. Nice work.
Number 2.
All right, BT, you talk about the option and Carlos. What will Carlos have to do, in your mind, for the Cardinals to be willing to pick up that option?
So again, the option's $17 million. They have another one for the following year at $18 million. So that's a lot of cash. But Anthony, what do we say about one-year deals?
They never hurt you.
Never hurt you. They don't. So if he goes out there and he is a starter for the whole year, and Carlos shoves for the year, and it doesn't have to be Cy Young shoving, right? He just takes the ball every fifth day, goes out there, gets the job done, and has an ERA somewhere in the threes. You might look at, first of all, a few factors are going to come into this. One of those factors is, what has been the season of Miles Mikolas? Like, what is the news there? What is the future of Adam Wainwright? How is Dakota Hudson coming back after missing the year with Tommy John? Did he come back in the bullpen? Does he feel strong? Does he look good? What about KK? Are we going to re-sign him? Like, there are various factors that go into this, but if he has a good enough year, I think it's a long shot still, but that could force your hand on a one-year deal, because if he's throwing the way that he can, it's hard to find a starter of his quality, it's damn near impossible, on a one-year deal.
Number 3.
Jamie, are you cured from the Carlos Martinez?
I don't think I'm completely cured yet.
Well, I was about to say, I just paused there for a while because I was waiting for you to barf in your mouth.
Breathing better.
You
Seems
need
like
more
you're good.
nuggets, like fun facts about his life? How about humility? Like, I think humility is something that all of us have dealt with at some point. We all make mistakes. February 2016, 2014, Martinez did issue a public apology for a distraction that he created when Deadspin, those creepy creepers, pointed out the volume of inappropriate images that appeared on his Twitter account. He later added that the incident prompted him to take a little bit of a break, a little breather, a little time off, hands-off time from
Bradley, be nice.
Just the facts are the facts from social media, okay? And after that, he did say someone had hacked his Twitter account.
Oh, yeah.
And putting
that what they call
various sites on it that were not Google.
I think he's stroking it quicker.
Different sites. Okay. So humility. He said sorry for getting his
Doesn't make me hate the guy.
account hacked.
There's your three big questions on Carlos Martinez. We'll do another Cardinal tomorrow. We still have, hopefully, Craig Berube joining us. We imagine that the Blues are practicing right now, and the Chief told us to buzz off. But hopefully we get a chance to talk to him at some point during the show. What's Trending is next in the Fast Lane.
Here's a look of what's trending with the Fast Lane. Brought to you by Sears Equipment and Exmark zero-turn mowers. Ready to work for you. SearsEquipment.com.
Time for What's Trending here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Here's our guy, Meat.
Boys, a big day today. We already mentioned it. It's Jamie Rivers' 57th birthday. Happy birthday, Jamie.
Happy birthday, Jamie.
I think you had it 11 years.
57.
Okay.
You don't look
It's
a
better
day
that
over
way.
60.
But that's great, because then people go, 57. Wow, he looks good.
He's holding up pretty well.
When
What
I
does he
tell him
do?
my real age, you're like, man, he looks bad.
Was he
Is
yoga?
he
What do
okay?
you do? A lot of yoga?
Jesus, is his liver even working anymore?
You look great.
Why is he so jaundiced?
Not only is it Jamie's birthday, but March 16th, 3/16, a special day for another guy.
Give me a hell yeah!
Hell yeah! Stone Cold Steve Austin, boys. He's trending today
his
on
birthday?
Twitter. No, it's Stone
And
Cold
happy
3/16, man. We got it.
birthday, Stone Cold.
What you have to do is throw 2 beers at someone.
Can
They
I get a
catch them.
hell yeah?
They smash them together.
What?
And go, hell yeah!
Do you think we could do that in here?
We could. It's
Yeah.
my birthday. I think there's no rules on your birthday, right?
There's
get
a
the
lot of
beers.
electronics, though.
it's fine.
That's all right.
I don't know how to use it anyways.
We have glass bottles, but you know what? Let's give it a whirl.
I like the glass. It's challenging.
I'm sure it is.
Anybody got eyewear? Protect
My hand. It's caught.
Where's Kurt Rambis when you need him?
Hey, Kurt had some good specs. Some of my favorite sports specs, I got two infielders. Carney Lansford and Chris Sabo.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Sabo.
Chris Sabo.
Chris Sabo
guy looks
had
like
some
Cincinnati
good
Reds.
specs.
He
certainly
interesting
did.
dude.
Who's your favorite sports specs ever? You guys got any?
Horace Grant.
Horace Grant.
Oh, wow. Those things, he had the little, yeah. He had the blinders.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Ask
Horace
Jordan.
Grant the one that got punched in the face on the plane?
No.
Well,
Didn't he steal
that was
his-
in
or was that Bill
practice.
Cartwright?
We don't know if
Or he got punked on the plane?
No, somebody got punched in the face.
That was Steve Kerr?
Yeah, that was
Or
Steve.
Paxton?
No, that was Steve
Steve
Kerr.
Kerr, that was a practice, right?
What you're referring to, I think, is when there was the rumor that Michael Jordan said Horace Grant can't eat.
Oh,
today.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You can't what?
He had like a bad game or
You don't
something
get
like
to eat.
that, and Horace Grant can't eat today on the
Yeah,
plane.
well, you don't. Obviously, guess what? You weren't hungry on the court. You can't be hungry now.
Horace
Grown-ass
Grant,
man, Michael.
Horace Grant also, yeah, exactly. Horace Grant also refuted the story, saying he was a grown-ass man.
Yeah, but then Horace Grant didn't Horace Grant throw everybody under the bus after that too? To like the one guy who wrote a book, and then he's like,
forget
"I
his
never
name.
said that stuff."
Allegedly, it was
Whatever.
Horace Grant.
Kurt Rambis by far.
Who was the guy that wrote the book? We had him on the show.
Oh yeah,
The Jordan Rules is the
Steve
book.
Johnson.
That's not it.
That's not
nice
it.
try.
Larry Brown.
Mr. Larry Johnson. Hold on.
player.
Sam Smith.
Sam
Oh,
Smith.
yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
right.
That's right. Oh,
Little
Sammy.
Sammy boy there.
And
They-
wasn't it-
They loved
Was
him.
it Cartwright that he kept bashing? Who did he keep bashing with us?
Horace Grant?
Oh yeah,
Was
yeah,
it
yeah.
Horace?
I think
No,
it was
don't-
Horace.
Yeah, he laid it on somebody.
Yeah, because then Horace said something
It
about
wasn't
he.
Horace Grant. Though.
Was it?
I remember having him on, and we all looked at each other like, "Holy smokes!"
He defended Horace, maybe.
Yeah.
Did he defend Horace and put it off on somebody
Maybe.
else?
We put a quarter in basically, and Sam just took off.
I can't remember.
We're like, whoa, here we go.
I don't know.
By the way, we got a lot of other texts about sports specs. A few Kurt Rambises. Brett Cecil gets a little bit of love. That's actually the
Kareem?
first time on this text line. Joe Kelly.
Oh,
Joe
yeah.
Kelly, just because of who he is
call.
with the sports
like
specs.
that, yeah.
Meat got me a birthday gift. It's Joe Kelly on a mug, and it says "nice swing" with the lip out. Pretty impressive. I enjoy that part of it as well. So, yeah. And Squints from Sandlot.
Oh, that's a good call.
Yeah, good specs.
Wendy Peppercorn.
Oiling, lotioning,
Kind of weird.
lotioning, oiling.
Feel uncomfortable. Next.
She doesn't know what she's doing.
You feel uncomfortable? NFL news.
Out of the table, Carlos. Out of the table.
It's bothering me. I have to know who
do you
Sam
mean?
Smith crushed
I don't know.
that day
He
with
did
us.
it. Yeah, he did it on the show. He was going after people. Anyways, go on. You have something to say.
Yeah, some NFL news with free agency heating up. The Patriots got Jonnu Smith yesterday, a heck of a tight end. They add another one today. Hunter Henry, previously of the San Diego Chargers, had some injury issues. 3 years, $37.5 million, going for that dual tight end look. How much does that help Cam Newton?
So here's the deal. When the last time that Bill Belichick did something like this was 2010. It was Rob Gronkowski in the second round, and it was Aaron Hernandez in the fourth round.
Worked out pretty well for one of them.
Well, it worked out for a
Worked
while.
out short term for
it worked
everybody.
It worked out for a while.
Maybe not everybody.
Well,
There are
yeah.
some dead people. Sorry about that.
Anyways,
Championship.
last time he went with a two tight end approach, it was then. It worked out. He was kind of ahead of things, Bill Belichick was, because now everybody's looking for that move tight end, the guy that can be a mismatch in the slot that can also block. And that's what he was doing. Rob Gronkowski on one side, Aaron Hernandez another was mismatch nightmare. Didn't need the wide receivers. So now that he signs Hunter Henry and he signs Jonnu Smith, he's going back to that look. So he's going to run the ball a lot, and a lot of things. Everything's going to be short, quick. Get the ball to your hands quickly. A lot of motion. That's what I think Bill Belichick's going to do, which suits Cam right now because Cam is broken-ish.
He had COVID.
But maybe he'll be better.
He's going to be fine.
Maybe.
Me, get to the big news on the text line.
On the text line.
Yeah, we got the news on the text line. We got one from the 618 from a gentleman that texted us a few weeks ago. We were talking about disc golf. We did an entire segment about it, and rightfully so.
Touch and chains,
now, he did tell us to keep an eye on St. Louis's own Nico LaCastro. Well, this past weekend, Nico won the Waco Annual Charity Open on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Nico took, it's 3 times.
Get it
together.
3 times,
You
not
just
4.
got a bogey.
No,
I
not
was
4.
excited for Nico.
You just bogeyed.
Nico took home a cash prize of $5,000, which buys a whole lot of discs for disc golf.
Nice. Good for him. Way to go, Nico.
You got anything bigger than that, Meat?
Maybe.
Good luck.
You guys would do just about anything for your kids, right?
Yes.
Anything.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll kill
Anything. Well,
Again.
Or
a,
whatever. We'll do stuff.
a mom who was a vice principal at an elementary school.
Why does this have OnlyFans written all over it?
It's not OnlyFans. That one is coming
What's
up
her name?
after this.
She'll do anything.
A mom who is a vice principal has access to the school district's computer system, rigged a homecoming vote for her daughter.
The old Ferris
on.
Bueller trick where he logs in and changes grades. Remember that?
Well, that would have made sense.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, come on.
This is really
You've gone
evolving.
too far,
Go
Mom.
ahead.
Almost 120 votes they found were fabricated. They logged into the system. It's because her daughter was blabbing her mouth about it to her friends. That's how people caught on.
Why would you even tell your daughter?
I think they had 9 witnesses come forward. Most of them were the daughter's friends or
Why would you
acquaintances.
tell your daughter in that situation? If you really wanted to push for it, isn't it counterproductive to be like, oh, by the way, honey, I rigged it for you?
Yeah, that's not good.
I think that she's probably got something else wired wrong upstairs, right? Like she needs her
sure.
daughter to know that I
love you.
did this for
I'll
you.
do anything for you.
And I
want me
would
to
do
expel that kid?
anything for love.
Been changing your grade
But
for
I
12
won't
years.
do that.
Safe word.
Honey?
Meatloaf. It's a safe word.
I love
Don't let your meatloaf.
By the way, I know who texted that now. And the one before.
What are you talking about?
Whoa.
There were some
FBI
there
here.
were some I don't know, some interesting questions that came into the text line last week about me. I know who did it. I know who you are.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
I will find
Asking
you.
if you had any weird fetishes or a safe word.
Exactly.
What? I
You
missed
missed
it.
the
I was
heck
out, I was out
Okay,
that
do
day,
you
huh?
remember do you remember a text
the
that you
call
read
is
to me the
coming
day
from
before?
inside the house.
No.
There's like 3 questions.
No.
You read it in a break to me?
What'd it say?
I'll tell you in the break. Was it Will Purdue that he crushed? I think it was Will Purdue that he hammered.
He
I think
basically
Sam
said
Smith.
punk
Yes,
ass Will Purdue.
I think Sam Smith crushed Will Purdue that day.
Friend of the show.
There you go.
Kind of.
Will Winnington.
One of them.
One of them. Can John Gant be more than a stopgap in the rotation? That's next on 101 ESPN. John Gant be more than a stopgap in the starting rotation. Jamie Rivers, Brad Thompson, Anthony Stalter. 301, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. BT, when we were talking to Danny Mack last Friday, you guys were about to do the game, so you weren't here. But
Was that the ex-FIP conversation?
it certainly was. Dan said, I hate the idea of John Gant going to the starting rotation because I hate John Gant. That's what he said.
Well, if I could paraphrase, and I wasn't listening,
Did
but
I
I think
remember
that
wrong?
he, I
You
think that he
remember wrong. I
loves
was
John
listening that
Gant
day.
in the bullpen. Is that what he was saying?
He basically said, I hate the idea because, yes, to your point, I love John Gant in the bullpen doing what he does best.
Boy, I've been telling a lot of people the wrong thing, then I got to correct that.
Danny will be fine with it.
People
He likes
will
that
know.
stuff.
No, but in all seriousness, yeah, he said that he loves John Gant out of the pen. So what do you think on this? Do you think John Gant is just a stopgap in the rotation, destined to go back to the bullpen, which is his natural role?
Well, first of all, it's not his natural role. Like, this is a guy that came up as a starter in the minor leagues, has been kind of bred to be a starter, and found himself in a niche in the bullpen and did a really good job for the Cardinals. But he did start 19 games a couple of years ago when he first came over for the Birds when they needed him. But I understand what Dan is talking about, because that's something that I've been hitting on a little bit as well, is John Gant serves a role in the bullpen that you really don't have anybody for right now. Like in a pinch, you need a guy that comes in, gets you a ground ball, and then maybe extends and gives you more innings. Gant ends up being that guy. The Cardinals have a lot of swing and miss out in the bullpen, so maybe that takes up for some of what John Gant is missing. But you will miss him out in the pen. But, man, after watching him throw again yesterday, and we've seen it in the past, like watching him show off his entire arsenal and the way that he's able to get outs quickly, I think that John Gant can be much more than a stopgap in this rotation. I think that John Gant can stay in this rotation all year. A lot of things depend on this, right? What is Miles Michaelis' health like? You hope that if John Gant stays in the rotation all year, it's not just because somebody's injured the whole year. It's because he's shoving. We hope to hear good news on Miles Michaelis here soon. We'll see, right? But there's that aspect of it. Another aspect is, how are the other starters doing? Now, the name that we're most notably going to be looking at, outside of KK in the back situation, again, waiting on more word on that. Yesterday's word was it was trending in a positive direction. But the name that pops up the most is Carlos Martinez, who we found out a lot about a little bit earlier at 3:30. If you'd like to learn more about Carlos Martinez, I suggest you go check out the podcast later on tonight, brought to you by I Promise, all at 101ESPN.com. But there's a lot that
It's
factors
for the kids,
into
Anthony.
it. Cha-ching. Yeah. But I watched him dropping in, breaking balls for strikes, throwing so the sinker usage went up for him last year, ground ball percentage over 60. He also started mixing in a slider that he didn't really have before. So he's got the sinker, he'll throw a four seam at times up above the zone, curveball, slider, and the Vulcan change, which is arguably his best
Vulcan
pitch.
one.
Dude, the funny thing is, too, we think about John
I tried
Gant.
throwing that the other day.
How'd it go?
Hit
Go
my
through the
son
window?
right in the forehead.
There you go.
Well, that's his fault. Like, you hit your target.
Yeah, but it was a changeup, right? So it wasn't coming in quite as hot.
Well, that
Which
happens.
son?
Big Hoss.
Oh, hell,
He shook it off.
Head on him like a water buffalo,
Yeah,
too.
sure. Uh-huh.
I appreciate that. I think that when you look at what John Gant brings to the table in the rotation, I don't think that there's any reason to say he can't stay there or that he's just keeping somebody else's spot warm. Technically, you understand why that's the way you'd look at it because you're waiting for Miles Michaelis to come back. But I think that right now, and we mentioned Carlos Martinez before, him being on a contract year, he could be on his way out after this season if the Cardinals don't pick up his option. If he's not throwing the ball well and he's already proven that he can pitch out of the bullpen, then you put him back in the bullpen. You pick whoever you think is going to help you at the time. And I think that John Gant might end up being that guy.
So all that's great. I'm happy with all that. That's great. Okay?
I feel a butt coming
and
on.
he hits home runs. So if pitcher's
Nothing
hitting
but
this year, that's technically
home
that's
runs.
all he's hit.
There it was.
So there's that extra power, a little pop that we need in the lineup.
Questions answered.
So who becomes then John Gant in his role that he occupied in the past of that guy who comes in on the heel, the meat of the innings in the middle? He's that guy. Who becomes John Gant then?
Well,
Because I think that's what Danny Mac's biggest thing was. And okay, so that put him there, but then who becomes that guy?
Yeah, well, I think that you lean on a lot of different people, right?
I don't want to do that. I want to lean on one.
Well, it doesn't always work, Jamie, as you've noticed here with the Blues and all the injuries. You don't just have one guy out and then one guy. You're Parayko now. No, you're not. No, we're all going to get in here. We're going to do some different work, and we're going to figure out different ways to go about it. I look at the bullpen right now, the way it's constructed, at least the things that I believe I know about the bullpen. Reyes is going to be in it. Hicks is going to be in it. Gallegos is going to be there. Helsley is going to be there. And I think here's a guy that could be interesting. And not that he's a ground ball machine, because he ain't. But he is another guy that can lengthen things out. If Kim is good to go, then Ponce is in your bullpen too. So Daniel Ponce de Leon can be a guy that can bridge some innings for you. Look, he's not going to do it in the John Gant style where he throws one pitch, gets 2 outs, and then you're out of a jam. He's probably going to throw a lot of pitches, strike 3 out, and then he'll come back out the next inning and try to do a little bit of the same. But he's going to be a part of things, and then that last right-handed spot is kind of up for grabs. Miller Cabrera, and Webb from the left side. So it's going to be a little bit of everybody. If there's one person that I look at right now, and not that his arsenal is the same as John Gant's, but I've seen him in spring training kind of serve a fireman role, and his minor league career has been nothing but starting, so he's been able to give you innings, is old TP. Tommy Parsons.
I'm starting to like this TP.
Yeah, TP. But the problem with TP is that
just
TP's
like in the
not on
pandemic,
roster.
right? Everybody needed the TP. I think the Cardinals need TP.
What's
TP's
his
hard
first
to
name?
find.
Timmy.
Well, his friends call him Timmy.
Yeah, it's inner
I
circle.
don't think so.
Timmy.
Yeah. So yeah, no,
Timmy.
it is a
Doesn't
good
make any
question,
sense.
right?
It's Timmy on his mother's side, Tommy on his dad's side.
The question of who fills that gap is a good question. But I think that you have enough very capable arms in the bullpen to get past that. And maybe you won't need that prototypical role. I'd rather have him out there. If he's dealing as a starter, I'll take you for 5-6 innings every 5 days rather than you get me out of a jam here and there.
Yeah.
I like that part of it.
Fair enough, absolutely. I agree. I think John Gant can be more than just a stopgap. And you know what? Looking down the road a little bit, you have no idea if KK is going to be available full season this year. Like you mentioned, BT, but what about next year? He's pitching on a 1-year contract.
Well, a lot of question marks for next year.
Yeah, Miles Michaelis now. Who knows when he's going to come back? And if he doesn't come back at all this year or deep into this season, now you're looking at Miles Michaelis not pitching much over the last 2 seasons now. Adam Wainwright's on a 1-year contract. I don't think John Gant is just pitching for a spot in the rotation
Huddy's
this
coming
year.
back from an injury.
I think John Gant is pitching for a spot in the rotation next year as well. And yeah, even with Dakota Hudson coming back. I think John Gant could be an option for you next year as well if he pitches well.
Yeah, I think so too. And the interesting thing with John Gant, when you look at him contractually, so he just went through his 2nd year of arbitration, so he's going to be under team control for 1 more year. And that's when you have to make a legitimate decision on the player, what you think he is. He'd have to look internally and say, hey, what do I think I am? Do I want to go out and hit the market, or do you keep working on things here? But look, that conversation is a long ways away at this point. But John Gant is super versatile. Having versatile guys in the rotation or on your staff are important. And the Cardinals have shown already that they have different guys that can do different roles. Woodford is a prototypical starter. Like he profiles there better, but he's shown you he can pitch out of the pen. Johan Oviedo, guy's a starter. He could pitch out of the pen. As we talked about, we did our 3 big questions on Johan Oviedo last week. That guy, especially if he just continues to be a 2-pitch pitcher and really doesn't get that feel of the 3rd pitch, he's got like future closer or late inning setup guy written all over him. He throws damn near 100 with a wipeout slider. Like that's pretty good. But there's versatility top to bottom. And then when you look at the rotation in a few years, you've got guys like Matthew Liberatore on their way. You've got Zach Thompson on their way. As you mentioned, Dakota Hudson coming back. So the Cardinals have a lot of different options for the future, but I think one of their best options right now in the rotation is John Gant.
Do you guys know what the best sports weekend is of the year?
Well, it's the NCAA tournament, like the first weekend, isn't it?
Jamie?
Super Bowl weekend.
BT's right. It's the first round action of the NCAA tournament. It's scheduled this Friday on 101 ESPN. Right here on 101 ESPN.
Friday's not the weekend.
Well, yes, it is. It absolutely is.
Jamie, real quick question. When do you start drinking for the weekend?
Monday.
So Friday's the weekend.
Yeah, there you go. So 101 ESPN will be getting in on the fun. Go watch the games with us at Ballpark Village. You can join BK and Ferrario this Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Fast Lane at BT. Meet myself. Jamie's not there because, like I said yesterday, Jamie doesn't like you. Yes, you in your car right now. Jamie hates you. Plenty of food, bucket specials, giveaways, and a ton of screens to watch all the first-round madness. Then tune in all weekend, first and second-round action, all live right here on 101 ESPN Saturday and Sunday. It's all courtesy of Matheny Heating and Cooling, as well as Goodwill. We'll talk to Craig Berube next. It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. Former Blues defenseman Jamie Rivers, World Series champion Brad Thompson. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's head right to the Brown and Krugman Celebrity Line, our weekly chat with the head coach of the Blues and the Blues Radio Network, Craig Berube. Chief, how you doing today?
Good, guys. How are you?
Doing really well. Sounds like you guys are getting healthy. What can you tell us about some of the injured players potentially coming back either tomorrow night or this week?
Yeah, Bozak will play tomorrow night, and actually, Schwartz is still not sure. Either if he doesn't play tomorrow, he'll play Friday. And then Robert Thomas is making real good progress, but he's not ready yet. Jacob Delarose will be available, too, this week. possibly tomorrow. And, no Parenko still yet.
All right, Chief. So when you get guys back to the lineup, specifically some of those guys that you mentioned, whether it's for tomorrow night or Friday or even in the near future, what does that do for your team on a long road trip like this, where some of your top guys, they've been grinding it out, and of course some of your third and fourth line guys working as hard as they can, but what will it mean to get some of this fresh energy back in the lineup?
Well, it's very good energy for sure, and plus it just balances things out a lot better. I think your lines will be more balanced, 1 through 4. Obviously, these are good players that have been out of the lineup. Good NHL players, but good players for our team for sure. And they're a miss, but definitely will balance things out, give us a little bit more scoring, 1 through 4 in the lineup, things like that. So they're really important.
Chief, you haven't had a game with your team yet, have you? I mean, this year, like seriously, it's been something, right? Vladimir wasn't there at the beginning. He's back finally. That's nice. But it has been something each and every time. I'd have to think it's challenging for you, for the staff, certainly for the players, to kind of have all the in and outs all year.
Well, it is. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, we even last year we went through it like with Vlad. He was out the whole season, and there's always injuries in this game. Ribs knows that. I mean, that's part of it. You got to find a way to get through things, and you got other guys that can come in and fill in and do the job. And I think for the most part, the guys that come in have done a pretty good job. They've given us a chance. I think there's probably 3 or 4 games in there that we were right there and we had chances, but we didn't finish it off. A couple OT games, 3 overtime games. And you win those. That's 3 more wins, right?
Coach, is it hard to evaluate your team when you've got so many missing pieces? Now, I know that you evaluate players individually, but from a team, from the standpoint of how you put together your game plans and your strategies, is it difficult to do all of that right now with so many injured players?
Well, I think it's just you got to look at doing different things and different matchups, and you're missing a lot of guys. The power play is obviously different with a lot of them guys out of the lineup. So things like that, certain situations are definitely different, and you got to just try to mix and match and find the best options for your team at on any given night. I think that's why you move guys around and you put people in different positions.
So, Chief, obviously being the head coach, you coach a team that's given to you, right? Army goes out, and I know you guys have discussions and you make moves or roster changes based upon wants and needs. And this past week, Jordan Binnington managed to sign a nice extension with the club. As far as being the head coach and moving forward for the next, or at least for the foreseeable future, how important was that to lock him up?
Well, obviously very important. I think that, obviously Benner's a big part of the team. He had a great year last year, and going forward here for the future, I mean, he's a solid goalie that you need that. You need that every game. You need them goaltending every game, and he's a guy that we can count on for, 6 years now. So, he's a big part of the organization, the Blues, and in general, won a Stanley Cup here, so it was very important. And as a coach, you have a guy like that there for the next 6 years. It feels good.
Hey, what do you call 2 games at home? Is that even a homestand at this point? Because you guys have just been road warriors. I mean, you have time to do some laundry, and then you hit the road again.
Yeah, it's quick. It's a quick turnaround, that's for sure. I mean, the home hasn't been great for us this year, as you guys know, and it wasn't last weekend either. I mean, 2 big games there at home. We wanted more out of our team for sure, but both games are right there that they were winnable, and we didn't play our best hockey. So, I think we're going to get better at home here. I think with this getting healthy is going to help us a lot, and we definitely got to pick it up at home.
Chief, on this road trip, a little bit of a unique situation. You guys fly out to L.A., and L.A. gets stuck in Denver, and now you guys have to throw a practice on the table. I don't know what you guys did exactly, but it gave you a little bit of a break before you play L.A. tomorrow night, and then you have a couple of intense games against the Sharks, and then you get another shot at the Knights. But the Minnesota Wild, those guys are a little further down the schedule. They're playing pretty good right now. How tight is this division, specifically the top 4 or 5 teams?
Well, it's very tight. Even LA's right there too. I mean, if you look around the league, it's tight. And that was one of the conversations we had yesterday with the team. Is that it's playoff hockey starting now, because just looking at the division and how tight it is, you got to play real good hockey down the stretch here. A team like Mini, I think, is surprising a lot of people, but I've watched them play a few times, and they're playing really well, and they got some real good players over there, and they're playing an aggressive style of hockey, getting some good goaltending, and they're putting a lot of wins together. So, it's going to be tight coming down the stretch.
Coach, how do you feel that your team performed? And I realize that you've got a lot of injured players out, but how do you feel that your team performed against Vegas, with them being one of the teams that kind of set the bar within the division?
I think inconsistent, to be honest with you. I didn't think that we came out of the gate in the first period of either game and dictated how the game should be played or how we want to play it. I think we're on our heels both those games. Just probably, maybe looking at Vegas as, the top team in the division, and, just looked like we didn't want to, go out. We didn't believe we could go out there and beat those guys. And, after the first period, I thought we played it pretty even. I thought, you look at the third period in the second game. I mean, the game's right there. A couple of those goals go in. It, just changes everything. But the game's right there. 1-0 in the third period. Goes into overtime the first game. So I thought we played pretty well in the second half of those games. But we didn't play 60 minutes against them, and you need to against that team.
I'm sure, like, when you have games like that, when you have the inconsistencies, Chief, that you're talking about, in the moment, I'm sure that they're maddening. And when you go back after the game, you look at it and say, damn it, if we just played 60 minutes, we'd have been good to go. But at the end of it, is there something that's reassuring about something like that, too? Because when you look back at a team, and we'll use Vegas as the example here, and say, look, if we were more consistent, we were going to be fine. Basically saying that personnel-wise, and especially when you guys get healthy, you can play with anybody in the league. Like, there are sometimes when you just look over at another team. A baseball example right now is you look at the Dodgers. You just go, okay, well, we're just going to have to pack a lunch and hope for the best. You guys don't have to hope for the best. When you're playing consistent hockey, you feel like you can play with anybody, don't you?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we've got a good team when everybody's healthy. We're pretty solid all around. I think that this team's still, figuring some things out, to be honest with you. Like, got, new players and just a lot going on. I thought that, we just had some bad luck this year, too, with the injuries. And
I think we lost, Chief.
Some overtime. We should have won, and we didn't. And, I think that's all going to change. I really believe that. I think that down the stretch here, I think we're going to, our guys are going to be more dialed in, getting these injured guys back, and I think we feel like we can compete against anybody in the league.
Chief, these road trips, 6 games, the last one. This one turns out to be just 5. It's a lot of time on the road. What are you doing for your sanity out there? You can only think about hockey and watch hockey for so long, and then you got to have something else. Like, are you reading books? Are you a movies guy? Are you hitting the golf course at all?
Yeah. No golf courses. We're not allowed to do much. I'm just hanging out with the coaches quite a bit, obviously. We're a pretty tight group, so due to that. But I watch a lot of, I got Netflix going with Narcos and different shows that I'm watching. So I'm on the Narcos now. I watched Narcos Mexico first, and now I'm on the Narcos with Pablo Escobar. So
I like that.
That's my TV stuff right now. So, spend a lot of time doing that because there's not a lot else we can do. There's just, we're at the hotel or at the rink. That's basically it. You go outside and walk around, which is nice because the weather's nice here in California. You can go walk around and do things like that. So a lot of that kind of stuff. But it's getting old, to be honest with you, boys.
Has Otter become annoying yet?
Oh, he was annoying when I was coaching the Flyers.
I just figured that, he's always looking to chirp and he's got energy. And some days I just would I'd be like, oh my God, Otter, just stop it.
I mean, he's good. We hang out quite a bit and do stuff together. So it's a lot of fun.
Nice. Well, Chief, we know you're very busy. We appreciate the time. Go get him tomorrow night, and we'll talk to you again next week.
You got it. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, Coach Craig Ruby here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. That's funny, man. Steve Ott, Jamie, you've said this before, but he does seem like one of those guys that you hate playing against, but you love when he's part of your team.
He's got a ton of energy, man. It's fun. He's always got something to say. He's got chirps. I mean, it's not like hockey guys like to chirp or try to have fun or anything like that. Otter's one of a kind. I know him and Chief are real tight, but it was just kind of you're tight with your brothers, but every now and then you get sick of them too, right?
Sure.
Well, especially when you can't go anywhere.
I thought you could at least go golfing, but I guess in California they're still a little tighter, right?
Yeah. I guess that's true. You're sitting there watching Narcos Mexico.
I like his one, Pablo Escobar, though. That's intense, that one.
Solid. Then you got Otter over there saying, watch this, watch this, watch this.
Hey, Chief.
That guy. By the way, you think Craig Berube's the guy that shares his Netflix password, or you think that he's just a solo?
Who the hell's asking?
Yeah.
Probably Otter, chances are.
Otter might.
Yeah,
Otter
like,
might.
hey,
but
let me just get in on
odds
that.
are Otter's wife set up the account for Otter, and that's the only one he can get into. I know the feeling.
Yeah. Where it's just done, and then who to call.
My 12-year-old set up my Netflix account, and it's got like this little caricature. She made it like some big, ugly, slimy thing.
You have no
was
idea
funny.
how to fix that.
It's like, Daddy. And I'm like, okay. At least it works.
That's Jamie Rivers, Brad Thompson, Anthony Stalter. We're going to play Future or Failure NFL Edition next. Well, as Meech just told you in the Sports Center update, a lot of movement right now in the NFL. Hunter Henry signs a deal with the Patriots one day after the Patriots also added former Titans tight end Jonnu Smith, so they're loaded up. A couple other moves thus far. You've got the Chiefs releasing Damian Williams to save $2.2 million in cap space.
Panicking.
Titans cut Adoree Jackson, the cornerback. Adam Schefter reporting that the Bears are likely to trade wide receiver Anthony Miller. I don't know who the hell wants him, but it's a possibility that he could be traded. And the Giants re-sign Leonard Williams, 3 years, $63 million. That's one of the many deals, or some of the many deals that are going on throughout the course of the day today, first day of NFL free agency. We're going to play Future or Failure. Meet. What the hell is this?
So we're going to start off with an easy one. I want to know if this team, this situation, has maybe a positive future or if it's just nothing but failure ahead. We'll start with the team you just mentioned, the New England Patriots. They had 2 tight ends for Cam Newton, who just got a deal, $14 million. Jonnu Smith is added, now Hunter Henry. Is there a future there for Cam in New England, or is it another failure?
It's a failure, guys. I mean, with all due respect. Yeah. He's not a young man anymore, Jamie, and I know that this is your team. And I know he's a former MVP. I'm not trying to bag on Cam Newton, but this is not the future of the franchise. He's a stopgap. He's going to be there for another year. They're paying him some money, but they're not paying him big-time frontline quarterback money.
$14 million's a lot of money, Brad.
Yes, but it's not $35 million. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just protecting you.
65780.
I'm protecting you.
Yeah, 1 year. So it is what it is. He is not the future. He'll be fine for a year, but that's it.
He's definitely not the future. He can't be. If Cam Newton's your future in New England, there's a big problem ahead of you, especially when you're making this kind of financial commitment to other pieces, Anthony. And I know that I'm half crazy most of the time, but I don't think I'm crazy about this one. I think Cam Newton is a stopgap before Bill Belichick finds, or at least tries to find, his next franchise quarterback.
100%. Make it a sweep. Bridge. Yes. It's a bridge quarterback. Maybe he goes up and gets one of those top quarterbacks in this year's draft. I doubt it. Maybe he sits there and takes Mac Jones of Alabama. I doubt it. He's likely to do what Bill Belichick always does, which is trade that pick for a slew of mid-round picks, and then maybe he takes a flyer on a quarterback in the middle rounds, whether it's Kyle Trask of Florida or Kellen Mond of Texas A&M or whatever. I don't. Cam Newton is on a 1-year contract.
Do you think this is the year he tries to reach out and draft a quarterback, or do you think he waits again another year? What's the crop of quarterbacks look like after this graduating year,
It all
or
depends.
this year of eligible guys?
It all depends. I mean, there's always going to be anywhere from 2 to 4 what I would deem starting caliber quarterbacks that enter the draft every year. Not always first rounders. Russell Wilson was a 3rd-round pick. Colin Kaepernick at one point was a 2nd-round pick. You can find draft pick. Tom Brady obviously is the poster child of the late-round pick.
Yeah, it's quite
but that's
the
an
poster,
exception,
too.
absolutely. But what was your question?
What's the next
What's
crop
the next
of
crop
quarterbacks
of
look like?
guys? Sorry, I didn't mean to help you black out there.
Thank you. There's always going to be 2 to 4 quarterbacks that are going to be available.
I had a thought the other night, and I never really brought it up because I thought you guys would just absolutely boot stomp me.
This
with
is
it.
a safe place, Jamie. You
No,
should know this by now.
It's not at all. I've learned that much. It's not safe, but I don't care. I'm going for it. It's my
try
birthday. I'm going to swing here.
Attaboy.
What does Aaron Rodgers have left on his contract?
I think 2 years.
Is it?
Yeah.
So this year coming up and one more?
Yes.
Is there any out clauses or anything like that?
I don't believe so.
I see Uncle Bill like maybe taking a swing at Aaron Rodgers.
I see that being oil and water.
Really? I don't think so. I think Josh McDaniel would be great with Aaron Rodgers. I think Bill would just be kind of like, you know what? Aaron Rodgers is coming towards the end of his career. I'm not retiring him, but he doesn't have a decade left. He's not Tom Brady. I mean, come on. So that being said, he might have a couple of good years left, and that's your franchise guy. I mean, I don't see anybody else worth doing that would be available relatively quickly.
There's a potential out in 2022.
Okay, so there you go.
So I apologize on that.
You should.
I did.
Am I crazy?
No, absolutely not. No, I mean the Packers drafted Jordan Love last year in the 1st round. Aaron Rodgers is one of the most vengeful people I think in the NFL. He's still pissed at the 49ers. They didn't take him over Alex Smith, number 1. It was a fact that the text line had to remind me about when I suggested that maybe Aaron Rodgers goes to San Francisco. Like, he'll never go there. They're absolutely right. He's not going to go to the 49ers. So
no, he's
Jordan Love is now a Green Bay Packer. I'm sure he'll probably sign with the Bears, just in spite of the Packers.
65780 Air Comfort Service text line. Sharon from Glencoe's active today on the text line. Speaking of puke in my mouth, Riv's bromance with TB12 makes me puke in mine. Sorry, Sharon. I apologize for that, but Tom and I aren't breaking up anytime soon.
No, we've tried.
Love is love.
It is. It's a bond.
All right, let's go to the NFC. The New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees just announced his retirement. You've got famous Jameis. You've got specialty Taysom Hill.
Is that his name? Specialty?
That's what I'm calling.
That's what Jamie calls him
Depends
too.
which way you read into
Who
that,
do
but
I
I
call?
dig it.
What?
Taysom Hill.
Specialty.
Oh, yeah, he is. You looking for a good punt coverage guy? I got a guy for you.
Why did you go like
I have no
Hillbilly
idea.
Bob there?
Who's your voice?
That wasn't even New Orleans. That
No.
was like, yeah,
It's like mountains of West Virginia.
Something.
that's a moonshine.
L.I.B.
Live action. Remember Turtle Man?
Yes.
So anyways, what was the
Is
question?
that situation, is there a future there between Jameis and specialty, or is this set up to be failure?
So Taysom Hill has $140 million.
Oh, he's got an opt-out after next year. They can
understand that.
absolutely crush him after next year.
Which they will.
They will,
I get
100%.
that. But they're invested in him to some degree. So I think that if Taysom Hill beats out Jameis Winston in training camp, then no, there is no future for Jameis Winston in New Orleans. If Jameis Winston wins the spot and holds the job, there's absolutely a
Do you think
future
it's
there.
actually a competition?
Absolutely.
I
Yes.
think it's Jameis Winston's job to lose at this point because they gave him the contract after he was a free agent, and Taysom Hill, they basically said, well, we're going to take that contract we gave you and we're going to shrink it down to 1 year so we can get rid of you. You're
They need a
actually
cap space.
He's actually the safety net in case Winston doesn't work out. If Winston plays well, he's gone.
They restructured Hill's contract because they need the cap space.
And because they don't want him long term.
How many years did they give Jameis Winston?
1.
There you go.
Yeah.
So there's
But
no
it has an
investment
option
there.
to turn into 4.
You stop it, Jamie.
That's an
I'm going
absolute
future
lie.
there as well, Jamie. I'm going future
said it
with
with
famous Jameis.
You said it with such conviction.
I
I'm
stuttered
like,
it.
is there? That doesn't make sense. All right, so BT's going with future?
Yeah, I think Jameis had a year to learn in that system. I still, with that defense, I don't see that being a team that is going to be drafting high anyhow and going to be able to grab one of those next quarterbacks. And the answer is not specialty. So it's Jameis Winston.
All right. As Meat's been telling you in the Sports Center update today, LeBron James bought a
Does he make you throw up in your mouth too?
He
He's just
does.
disgusted with him. LeBron
like Tom
bought
Brady
a
and not
share in who?
LeBron?
Boston?
Love Tom
The Red
Brady.
Sox?
I'm getting murdered on the text line, too.
And Liverpool, technically.
And Liverpool. If we all had, LeBron James money or Patrick Mahomes money, who would we buy into if we could?
Amazon.
Okay, sports-wise, sports franchises-wise.
YouTube.
Okay, I'll explain it to you in the break. That's next on
Bitcoin,
101
I guess.
ESPN. So LeBron James reportedly has stake now in the Boston Red Sox. And enough money where he said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and invest in a team. So he chose the Boston Red Sox. As we know, Patrick Mahomes, after he signed
Always
his
trying
deal,
to buy a winner, isn't he?
he bought a portion of the Kansas City Royals. So let's eliminate the local teams from this discussion. You can't buy the Blues. You can't buy an ownership in the Cardinals, okay? Because everybody would be, the Blues.
I don't want to buy
Cardinals.
anything else.
I understand, Jamie. You can sit out of this conversation, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, I, too, would just like to buy the car.
Then you're done as well. Meat, it's you and I.
He's
He
going to
just
buy the
wants
Chiefs.
Let's do this.
You can't buy the Chiefs either.
What can I buy the Chiefs?
No.
You can't buy your favorite team.
So, Anthony, here you are. You can go buy the Falcons. Have fun. Next segment.
Okay, we have the gauntlet coming up. By the way, we need a gauntlet contestant, 65780, Comfort Service text line. If you can, text in right now. Don't drive and text. But if you could text, you might be a challenger today in the gauntlet.
By the way, LeBron James, real quick, and we will pick some other teams other than St. Louis-based teams. We're not homers here. That we everything is, anyways. LeBron James has so many irons in the fire. I mean, this guy's making money hand over fist.
Care about basketball
He still cares about basketball. Plays more minutes than like everybody. And
until his
doesn't
load
take days
management
off.
kicks in.
No. He's been anti-load management this year. His load is managed perfectly at this point. I mean, who knows at the end of the season how he's going to feel? But he's now in wealthy territory. He's like far past rich. Like we talk about rich and wealthy. Players are rich, owners are wealthy. Well, he's wealthy now. Like when you're buying into Liverpool, he owns 2% of Liverpool, which Liverpool's worth billions. So I mean that's probably a decent stake that he holds right there. Now he owns some of the Red Sox, who are worth billions at this point. He owns various other entities. That is a wealthy individual.
Yeah,
he
absolutely.
Is. All right, so Anthony, let's start with you. What sports franchise, if you ran into generational wealth and you had to pour it into a sports franchise or two, like if you want to, like LeBron James sprinkling it around, what are you buying?
I would buy the L.A. Dodgers, and then I would run them straight into the ground so we didn't have to see them win any more games.
We said generational wealth, not ludicrous wealth.
You find the Dodgers unlikable?
Is he really?
Is it because you're a Giants fan?
That's
They're
correct.
really expensive, I heard.
Oh.
Maybe you got a Groupon for them.
I would buy the Chicago White Sox.
Okay.
They're a young, up-and-coming franchise, and I feel as though that the tide is turning in Chicago. Now, the Cubs are the most popular team in Chicago, but I'm going to change all that by purchasing the White Sox. White Sox on their way up, Cubs on their way down, and I think there's a lot of market space there. We'll do some things with the stadium because it's pretty
You going to change its name again?
Probably. That seems to be the thing to do.
What is it now?
I have no
U.S.
Cellular.
I don't think it is. I think it's something else. No, that's not it.
All-State. There's a bunch of All-States.
They're All-State. Yeah, that's not.
That's not it though.
No,
Yeah.
that's
What
not
is it
it.
now? It's guaranteed rate
Guaranteed
field now.
rate
Oh,
field.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Until next year.
So I will change the name of the stadium and maybe add some features to the park. So it's not
water
so
features?
basic.
Everybody likes
maybe
some
some
water
water.
features.
What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
Maybe a pool.
Why would you put a pool at the baseball field?
It's cold at the beginning
Water
of the year.
doesn't go good with a baseball field. You know, Bull Durham got a rain out, just been turning the sprinklers on.
The Diamondbacks have a pool, worked out just well.
It is
just
working
okay.
out just fine. Kansas
It's the
City
only water
Royals
they have in that
fountains.
city.
Right.
That is actually about it, and they have to pay a premium. All right, so I like you buying into the White Sox, and I like the reasoning behind it. You have a small
I really didn't
edge.
give any reasoning.
Well, no, you
I
did.
thought
The
you
young,
did.
up-and-coming
You said you
team.
wanna put a pool in.
You also mentioned the market, and Chicago is a huge media market, so there's going to be earning potential there, right?
I want to overshadow the Cubs as well.
Which is great.
The White Sox
I like
deserve more attention in that city.
So your market is better than the market that I'm going to pick for a growing revenue, but I believe that I have the biggest star in the game. I'm going to buy the Padres. The Padres are a team where you have Fernando Tatis Jr., you've got him for the next 14 years. You are building something. You're building a team that is going to compete and at some point here soon beat the Dodgers. So that kind of fixes one of your problems. If I'm buying a baseball team right now, and look, this
Does it have to
isn't
be baseball?
No. You can buy whatever you want.
Get scared.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you're
Brett.
fine.
I was going to buy the Tampa Bay Bucks and drive them into the ground, too.
Yeah, woo!
Yeah,
No?
that's the only
No?
way you might win, Meat.
Oh, please.
I don't blame you for being happy about that.
He gets excited. So, anyways, yeah, the Padres. The Padres seem like a
great
decent
one.
one to buy. Like, look, everybody's going to say Yankees, and I'm not trying to buy the team that's already the most expensive. I'm trying to build something here, and I think the Padres are building
I
something.
like that. I like that a lot.
All right,
Jamie?
I'm not going with baseball, guys. I know you find that hard to believe. Going football. I want to buy the New York Jets. Okay? That's a team in absolute shambles.
I love it.
And it's a team that should be one of the number one things that people talk about during the NFL football season, but for good reasons. I want to bring it back to like Joe Namath days, to where the Jets are relevant, where they're not waiting in line at the most popular bars. They're getting that VIP treatment all over the city. The Jets need to be the team, the Manhattan, the city of New York team. I know they're over in New Jersey, right? But
Hey, maybe you can get them their own stadium and put it in New York.
Central Park is going to, I think they'll be fine with that, right?
Yeah,
I've got all this money, right?
Absolutely.
So
You do whatever you
Central
want.
Park, we're putting a brand new stadium. New
I
York
love it.
Jets. Good parking, I'm sure. Now, that being said,
That's kind of like my White Sox play. It's like they're the second team in the city, and you want to see them rise above.
I just think that if that franchise was run properly, not only is there money to be made hand over fist for an ownership group, but you could get people who are just lining up, free agents lining up to come to that city and to play for that team with all of the possibilities that are outside of football, but also because of the market, the media market, New York City, that whole thing. Forget about it.
I like
I'm buying
it, Jamie.
the Jets.
Well done.
I like to forget about it at the end of it
Forget
because
about it.
I just started watching The Sopranos 2 days ago.
There you go. The
Oh,
bada
nice.
bing.
I am in.
By the way, good buddy Sean used to be Dunk's old neighbor. Sean, huge Jets fan. He goes, "Hell yeah, Jamie!
That's it, Sean.
I'll be his GM."
I don't know anything about you, but
You're
let's
in.
do
He's a
it.
numbers guy.
My mother is a huge Jets fan too, by the way.
Your
so,
mom?
yep.
Mrs. Stalter,
Mrs.
part of the
Stalter's
ownership
huge
group.
Jets fan from New York. Loved Joe Namath.
Who didn't? They need Joe Namath again.
Colts. didn't.
Broadway Joe,
They didn't like him at all.
I think Sam Darnold's kind of like Joe Namath, trapped in a
without the talent.
less talented body, but it
And
hasn't
a bigger
been
head.
huge
Yeah,
Lego
probably.
head.
Look at the size
has
of that cranium.
Like an orange on a toothpick.
Looks like an orange on a toothpick.
Okay, you guys
Got
are
a
in
head like
sync.
Sputnik.
You guys are in sync
Don't
on that one.
cry on your huge pillow.
Gauntlet is next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Prepare the gauntlet.
4 warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger.
Spinning into the end zone. Touchdown. Into Big Mac land. Shoots. He scores!
BT's got this freaking.
Brought to you by the Home Loan Expert. Last year's average client saved almost $350 a month with an easy rate reduction refinance. Can you survive the gauntlet?
Time for the Gauntlet here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 403. Your time trick is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Jamie Rivers, Brad Thompson, Anthony Stalter. Here's Meat, and we welcome in Tony. What's up, Tony? Meat, you got to put him on.
Meat, you got to push
Tony,
the buttons.
sorry about that, man. How you doing?
BT put cupcakes
He
in my
was
face.
waving cupcakes in front of Meat, and he just froze. It was like Pavlov's dog.
You've
He was
already
like,
had ice cream,
"Ugh."
so? Yeah, good point.
You can eat a trap twice.
Yeah.
He went right back over there. Dang
All right,
it.
Tony,
You
Tony,
pesky
we
kids.
apologize. You got Jamie Rivers in hockey. You got Meat in randomness. You got BT in baseball or me in football. Who do you want?
Well, now that I'm not silenced anymore, I guess I'll go with River.
Oh, Tony!
The birthday boy, you're going at him on his day?
Wow. All right. Well, Tony, good luck, I think.
Hey, you too.
Okay, Jamie is walking out of here just a ticked off human being.
Could go one of two ways, Anthony.
It certainly could, Brad.
This could be a birthday present for Jamie Rivers, or it could be a birthday kick in the groin. We'll find out.
We'll find out next. Here in the Gauntlet on 101 ESPN. All right, Tony, question 1. Bob Plager turned 78 on March 11th. What team traded Plager to the Blues in 1967?
The New York Rangers.
Oh, he said it with conviction. Final answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, question number 2. Which former Blue set the NHL record for the most consecutive games played in 1976? It was 631 games was the record.
I'm going to need the options, please.
All right, you've got Gary Unger, Red Berenson, or Bob Gassoff.
Gary Unger.
All right, Tony, question number 3. Who was named the first captain for the Vegas Golden Knights?
Oh, just this year. Stone.
All right, what team hosted the first Winter Classic?
Hosted the first Winter Classic. Oh, yeah. I'll take the options for that one, too, please.
Is it the Blackhawks, the Sabres, or the Bruins?
Buffalo Sabres.
Okay. Let's bring in Jamie. How you feeling there, kid?
Well, I almost did the mouth. Not great.
Okay, well,
who knows?
I gotta
Look,
be honest.
It's one of your guys'
not great.
One of your birthdays, and not exactly sure.
I don't trust your cupcake.
The traffic.
Did you put another cupcake in front of him?
But he put one that was out of the container, and I definitely do not trust him enough for that.
That's a weird stamp in the middle
Yeah,
of it.
what is it? So much?
I don't know. It's weird.
All right. How did you
Jamie.
guys?
You ready?
I don't know. I feel like I'm rattled on my birthday. Like, what's going on here?
Well, he did take you on your birthday.
Okay. Let's do this.
He's
Real
confident.
quick, it leads you to believe a couple of things, right? If he's going to pick you on your birthday, one,
He
I
hates
don't,
me.
I don't think so. I don't think that he wants
One,
to
he
ruin
hates
your
you.
day.
One, he loves you.
Okay.
And
Or two.
two, would be the fact that he may have been really confident in hockey.
Damn it.
So let's go.
Damn it.
Here we go, Jamie. Bob Plager turned 78 on March 11th. What team traded Plager to the Blues in 1967?
Wow, was it a trade from this team? Because 67 was the first year for the Blues. Was he traded or was he expansion draft? I forget how the hell that rolled. I mean, I know you think I was in the league that time, Anthony, but I wasn't.
I never said that.
There weren't. So, okay. Weren't a lot of teams because this was the big expansion in 67. So, I believe it was the New York Rangers. I hope it was the New York Rangers. I should have got the options. Never mind. Okay.
Question number 2. Which former Blue set the NHL record for the most consecutive games played in 1976? It was 631 games.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, good question. It
In
wasn't
what
him.
year?
1976.
I wasn't on that team either. Give me the options.
All right, you've got Gary Unger, Red Berenson, Bob Gassoff.
Red Berenson.
Question number 3, Jamie. Who was named the first captain for the Vegas Golden Knights?
Mark Stone.
That scumbag.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Question 4. What team hosted the first Winter Classic?
What team hosted the very first Winter Classic? Oh, I know this. Sidney Crosby. Shootout, breakaway goal, 5-hole, Buffalo Sabres.
All right, let's go over these. Question 1. Bob Plager turned 78 on March 11th. What team traded Plager to the Blues in 1967? Tony, without the options, you said the New York Rangers. Jamie, without the options, you said the New York Rangers. The correct answer was?
The New York Rangers.
We're tied 2-2.
Good job, Tony.
Question 2. Which former Blue set the NHL record for the most consecutive games?
I screwed this one up, too. Damn it.
Played in 1976 with 631 games. Jamie, with the options, you said Red Berenson.
Wrong answer.
Tony, with the options, you said Gary Unger. The correct answer was?
Gary Unger.
Yeah, the old
That's correct.
California flow on Gary Unger. He's still got great hair, too.
Tony takes a 1-point lead. It's now 3-2 going into the third question. Who was named the first captain for the Vegas Golden Knights? Without the options, you guys both said Mark Stone. The answer was?
That scumbag, Mark Stone.
So Tony's got a 1-point lead heading into this question.
Oh, boy.
What team hosted the first Winter Classic? Tony said the Buffalo Sabres.
With or without the options?
With the options.
Oh,
Jamie Rivers, without the options, said the Buffalo Sabres. Correct answer was?
The Buffalo Sabres.
We've got ourselves a tie, gentlemen.
Wait.
2-4-6 for Jamie. 2-4-5-6 for Tony.
Damn
Tony
it.
got them all right.
Thought I had this one.
But
Hockey
Jamie,
stuff's good
Finkel
for
and
you. Math
Einhorn.
not great.
Einhorn and Finkel.
so it's all tied up.
All right.
6
Oh, God,
to
this
6.
is not good. Please don't be something to do with numbers.
Your tiebreaker question: Which team just signed Andy Dalton?
Okay, that's not funny. That's not the tiebreaker.
He said the Colts. Jamie,
That's the tiebreaker?
who signed Andy Dalton?
That's nothing to do with hockey. It's under protest
Tony
right
said
now.
Colts. Andy
Why
Dalton's
did he
a big
say
hockey
that already?
fan. He
Shouldn't have-
said the Colts. Who
I
was
didn't
yours?
even have a chance to write it down.
Who was your choice?
Colts.
All right, still a tie.
Correct answer was the Chicago Bears. Just gave me an opportunity to tell you who the Bears just signed. So Bears just signed Andy Dalton to
I
a
was about
one-year
to
contract.
fight you. I swear to God I was.
Here's your tiebreaker question. Jamie, you got to write
Now
this
tell
down.
me, don't answer right away, Tony.
Jamie.
Well, you screwed the last one up.
How did I screw the last one?
Tony, what the hell? He's messing with us.
Jamie is fired.
Hey, it
up
wasn't
today.
a hockey question.
I know, right?
All right.
Please read it as is.
Tony, hold off
God.
here. Is there a screw up
just
here?
read it.
Okay. Alexander Steen scored 195 career goals with the Blues. How many did he score with Toronto?
Couldn't read it as is, huh?
I did.
No, you didn't.
Alexander Steen scored 195 career goals with the Blues. How many did he score with Toronto?
Mine says Tatanto.
Or closest to the pin here.
Yeah. Jamie, it's closest to the pin. Jamie's writing his answer down right now. Okay, we got that. What is yours, Tony?
30, even.
Going with 30. All right. Jamie, how many goals did he score with Toronto or Tatanto?
Well, I originally wrote 25, and then I scratched it out like a moron. Now I feel like an idiot, but I wrote 15.
Tony went with 30. Tony?
You have chosen wisely.
Booyah!
What was it?
50.
50?
Yep, he scored 50 goals with Tonto.
Damn, Steiner, you
or
were better than I
Tatanto.
thought.
So 195 career goals with the Blues, 50 with Tatanto. And Tony, you're moving on tomorrow to face BT. You're off tomorrow?
Yeah.
So you'll either take on
No.
Meaty.
What's tomorrow?
No,
Tomorrow's
he's not off
Wednesday.
tomorrow.
Thursday I'm off.
We're
Yeah.
all here.
We're all
Wednesday.
here together.
Hell, Tony, you got all the other options. Meet BT or myself tomorrow. Nice
Thanks
job.
for ruining my birthday, Tony.
Hey, that's good news for all the rest of you guys. Sorry for the kick in the nuts, Jamie.
Yeah, that's okay. Next time, don't wear a steel-toe boot, please.
All right, Tony, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. That was one of the better gauntlets we've
That
had,
was
man.
really
That was
good.
great. That was good.
There was
How
ups
did
and
I
downs
forget
too.
Unger?
was.
It's
The
That's
best
okay.
part
I
was
deserve to
Jamie.
lose.
Well, you thought you won. That's the
You-
best part of the
yeah.
whole thing.
well, I
is when
thought
you
I did
the
because I
math.
didn't take any options. The
I
only
know.
option I got was wrong, but then I realized, oh yeah, you got it wrong.
It's all right. It happens.
Donkey.
That was a good battle.
You
It
got
was a
three-
good battle. You got to give it to Tony.
He got all of
He
them.
knew his hockey, man.
He certainly did.
That's awesome. That's good. You know what that tells us?
What?
People love hockey and they're listening to us, kind of.
Well,
Hey,
Tony is.
real quick, I got a text from the 765. It says, LOL, I know nothing about hockey. Why is Mark Stone a scumbag? Jamie, tell the people.
Well, he comes by it honestly. If you want to go back and look at, well, first of all, Tyler Bozak is going to be playing tomorrow night, guys, which is a great thing. Tyler Bozak's been out since, the third game of the season because Mark Stone, the scumbag, out of nowhere, no puck, nothing to do with the play, just decided I'm going to jam on the brakes and throw my shoulder into Bozak's head.
Boo!
Yeah, Janet, it was pretty awful.
It was uncalled for.
Since then, Tyler Bozak has had an upper body injury.
It was his head.
Figured that one out, right? Good job, BT.
I think. I don't know. Nothing confirmed.
And Mark Stone has been busy scoring goals, and Vegas has been winning, and Mark Stone scored a couple on the weekend here against the Blues. So, yeah, he is an absolute scumbag.
There you go.
And there you have it. Will the Cardinals actually start Lane Thomas over Harrison Bader?
Yes.
I doubt it. That's next on 101 ESPN. Will the Cardinals actually start Lane Thomas over Harrison Bader in center field? I highly doubt it. I agree with me.
That was quick on the trigger.
I don't think there's any way in hell that I'm sorry. If Harrison Bader suffers some sort of injury, then yes, I think Lane Thomas will start
He's got a
in
barking
center
elbow,
field
Anthony.
over
He's
Harrison
never
Bader.
liked Lane Thomas, and that's kind of what this is all about.
Seriously, that goes back a couple of years ago, and he never, ever has he liked Lane
He just
Thomas.
never gave him the time
thought
of
the
day.
Cardinals even needed him.
I agree. But that's his cross to bear.
What's
Anthony,
wrong?
tell us what it is about Lane Thomas that really grinds your gears.
I've always liked
can't-
Lane Thomas.
Oh, it sounded like it. Didn't you just say, no way in hell that kid's playing? If I had something to say about it, that's exactly what you said.
The Cardinals won't do it.
You said if I had something to say about it.
I never said that.
You at least insinuated that it was your opinion. That's how I heard it. How'd you hear it, Jamie?
I heard it exactly like that.
It's weird how our ears work.
It wasn't even an opinion. It was more like you were, projecting the future, being like, okay, yeah, there's no chance. No way in, what did he say?
Hell.
That's it.
Am I at home or is this?
Well, do you feel like you're always wrong?
Yes.
You're wrong on this one, Anthony.
My voice isn't heard.
Even Dunk knew it.
Things like that. Anyways, the Cardinals aren't going to start Lane Thomas over Harrison Bader in center field unless Harrison Bader has a significant injury. They love them. I said significant. They love themselves some Harrison Bader.
They do
Convince me otherwise.
Well, here's the thing. I'm just going to go back to, and you're right. Look, if we're looking at this just on the surface right now, and remember, we still have 2 weeks of spring training left to play, and Lane Thomas offensively has been a better player this spring training. I think he's got like 3 more at-bats than Harrison Bader does. I will say a number that's a little bit alarming when you're looking at Lane Thomas. He's got 20 at bats. He's punched out 9 times. That's a bit high. I don't think that I want my strikeout percentage to be nearing.
Well, the poor
50%.
guy's just trying to make the dang team.
Yeah, but
swinging at everything.
Well, that doesn't help, Jamie. But he is hitting 300. He is doing a little bit more than Harrison has been doing offensively at this point. Here's what it comes down to for the Cardinals. We know how much they've struggled the last couple of years offensively, and they need a boost. And Arenado's going to serve as a large boost for this club. Goldie had a nice year last year, and he's going to build upon that one this year. But they need others to step up, and I don't think that they're in a situation, with their outfield, they're not in a situation at all where contractually you feel like you're obligated to play a player where it's just like, well, we're hamstrung here, a la the Dexter Fowler contract the last couple of years, and they were in that situation this year, and they traded him off. He's an Angel now. So
why are you doing it now?
I just catches on. Just point towards the west.
Now he's pointing at the ceiling. Or he's pointing at the sky.
That's west.
I don't get it. Anthony, look what you started.
No, it's just the direction of where the Angels play.
Pointing up is not west.
Yeah, it is.
Not unless the Earth is spinning really fast.
Well, it's flat.
It's always spinning.
It is, but how fast does it actually spin?
Oh,
like
about
60 miles an hour.
No. It's 3.2 millimeters per second.
That's what I said.
That's absolutely not true.
Well, here's what that converts to: is 60 miles an hour.
It's like 67.
So goes back to an old adage, okay, that we have heard, since the Roman times, Anthony.
Yes.
If you hit, you play. And I think that still carries some weight in center field. Harrison's the guy that they want to have the job. Like, they see the skill set, they see the speed, the instincts, the elite Gold Glove caliber center field that he plays. Gold Glove caliber
Would
center
you
field
listen?
that he plays.
I'm just checking. I'm learning.
Well,
They see the skill set that's there. And I think he got robbed maybe in the last year or so. Anyways, they see those things, and they want that to translate to the big leagues. But here's the thing. You can want in one hand, and you know what? Let's not use that one. You can hope for something to happen, and that's great and all, but the hope's not going to fill up the stat sheet, you know? So if Lane Thomas is doing, and you're hoping that Harrison does, which one's going to help you more? Look, at this point,
BT,
you
if I may,
go with the guy that does.
If Harrison Bader can dream it, he can do it.
Sure. Okay. Using that analogy,
What
which
am
is
I
a good
even
one.
listening to right now?
I don't even know anymore.
If Lane Thomas can then, in fact, dream it, he can do it. Here's the thing that we saw from Lane
Which
a couple
one's
of
gonna
years
do
ago.
it better, though?
Well,
Lane
both of
Thomas.
them could be doing it and doing it and doing it well. But in 2019,
LL.
when Lane Thomas, thank you, represent Queens, he was raised out in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So in 2019, Lane Thomas came in and was torching the league. Now, torching is maybe you can't really use that.
relative.
Yeah, it is, because it was 44 plate appearances. It was 38 at bats, but he had an OPS of 1093. He was getting on base. He wasn't striking out a ton. He was drawing his walks. He hit for power, 4 home runs, a triple. Like, you love what you saw out of him, and it was even John Mozeliak at the end of it after the season was over, after the Cardinals got bounced in the NLCS. And he said, man, we could have used Lane Thomas in this one. Then last year he was zapped with COVID. We never got a chance to see him. If we see him the next 2 weeks in spring training, and again, it's evident of where they're placing their players right now, right in the hierarchy of how guys have been deployed in spring training. O'Neill's been getting the reps in left. It has been Harrison Bader, and the barking forearm was the only thing that kind of opened the door a little bit for Lane Thomas in center. He got some more reps, and Dylan Carlson's been the guy mainly in right. So right now, when you're looking at it, Lane Thomas is probably the fourth man there, right, in the crowded outfield. But you get 2 weeks worth of at-bats, and he is driving the ball all over the yard. I don't see how you can't look at that and say, all right, well, yeah, that's probably going to be the guy. And it doesn't mean that it's Harrison Bader has lost his job forever. It means that there's going to be a competition for at-bats. Everybody wants a competitive camp. Everybody wants guys fighting for more at-bats and having to earn it. I think that would end up being a positive thing for it.
All I want, BT, out of this whole thing is for the competition to truly be a competition. And I know Harrison Bader is going to get the start at center field. He'll start the season as the center fielder. But after that, after he gets that first little run of games, I want it to truly be a competition to where the guys who hit play. The guys who give you a best chance to win play.
That's the hard part during the season, though, to figure it out is...
Yeah, but if we're not willing to open the competition in spring training, which we're not.
But how many games is enough for Harrison?
I don't know. That's up to you guys to decide.
See, but you just said we're not willing to open up in spring training. I think they are.
No, because we said it a week ago, or I don't know, before spring training started, it's Harrison Bader's spot. We're still saying it. It's Harrison Bader's. Lane Thomas is much better at the plate than Harrison Bader this spring. That's not a competition because we're already putting Harrison Bader out in center field.
You're putting him in center field.
No,
I just said he's got 2 weeks left to go out there and be able to open some eyes again. Again, he's got a couple more at-bats than Harrison. He's got more production than Harrison. I think it would be kind of crazy to believe that even the Cardinals, who want Harrison to end up being the guy, if you look at the next 2 weeks and Lane Thomas is ripping the cover off the ball and Harrison Bader's up there hitting weak ground balls and not looking good, I would be shocked if Harrison Bader is starting in center field on opening day instead of Lane Thomas.
You really believe that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope so. I hope exactly what you just said.
This ain't a guaranteed contract. This isn't a long-term deal. This is a guy that they believe in the skill set. I think he's a good player. I mentioned him as my breakout guy this year. I think that he's going to be able to put it all together. But at the end of the day, it comes down to who's getting the job done in the here and the now. And if that is Lane Thomas, and right now, 20 at-bats ain't enough for me. I mentioned